So the Carolina Panthers are moving on from Shaq Thompson. He was just informed earlier today. He's been with the Panthers for a hot minute. He was one of the team's captains, so definitely a turning of the guard here. I'm sure he'll find a new home. I don't think he's done in the NFL just yet. He has had his fair share of injuries over the year. That's a big reason why they're probably cutting ways with him, is just because he hasn't really stayed that healthy. But in total, with the Panthers, he finished with 112 games, 752 tackles, 12 sacks, and 3 picks. His best year came in 2022 when he had a career high in 135 tackles. So thank you for your service, Shaq Thompson. And I'm sure Panthers fans are definitely a fan of him, but they're probably pretty understanding of this move. If you're a Panthers fan, let me know what you think about Shaq Thompson's game, and do you think he still has some gas left in the tank? Let me know in the comments. Going forward for the Panthers, I'm curious to see how aggressive they will be this free agency period. I really think they should tend to lean into the aggressive area, because I really think it is very critical for Bryce Young to be surrounded by as many good wide receivers as possible and just like good overall talent on that side of the ball, because even though he did finish off the year very strongly, we still have yet to see a full season of Bryce Young be consistent and be a starter in the NFL. So I still feel like, even though his confidence obviously ended with a high, I still feel like it could be shaken up a little bit if he gets off to a slow start in 2025. So I think the Panthers should be aggressive here, man. And not only that, you still have Bryce Young on his rookie deal. So hypothetically, if he goes off for 2 years straight, you have to pay him a big deal. Right now, he's not making much. So you have the ability to add skill players around him and high caliber skill players. Will they actually want to come to Carolina? That's a whole other conversation, but money always speaks. So if they're aggressive and they offer, someone like Chris Godwin a nice bag, like, why not? He knows the division well. He'd be extra fired up to play the Buccaneers twice a year. I like Chris Godwin to Carolina. I just know they have to add another wide receiver, a veteran wide receiver to Carolina, since they already have 2 younger wide receivers there. I just think to add a good caliber guy there would just really be good for Bryce Young and that whole offense. Now, as far as Shaq Thompson, I've actually read on X that some Eagles fans want Shaq over Zach Bond. That's definitely an interesting take. I don't really hate it. I feel like Shaq would definitely be a cheaper option at this point, but who knows? Free agency is always a time of surprise. Every single free agent period, there's always 2 or 3 shocking deals where it's just like, wow, that's a lot of money for that guy, and are you sure about that? So, I think Shaq Thompson will probably be a cheaper deal than Zach Bond, but we'll see. I just think, when you're a Super Bowl champion, when you're coming off one of the best defenses and one of the best years in your career, you're probably going to make a big bag compared to the year Shaq Thompson just had. And not only that, man, but he's a great leader. He's a great leader. I think he would fit in any locker room. I've also seen some Bills fans chime in saying they want Shaq Thompson on their team. Also, I feel like the Ravens are always in play for pretty good defensive players. So all 3 of those fits are very, very good. I'm curious to see where he'll end up. And I'm curious to see if he'll have kind of like a mid-career resurgence, if we can maybe see prime Shaq Thompson. But we'll have to find out. Now, with Shaq Thompson being cut, don't be surprised if there's some other players the Panthers cut in the next couple of weeks. One being Ian Thomas. After his rookie deal expired, they gave Ian a new deal, but he really hasn't done much since then. And I just think they could save a lot of money there. Also, Shai Tuttle is another potential cut for the Panthers. We kind of have to expect that they're going to make a lot of changes on the defensive side of the ball. And, you know, this past year, they gave up the most single-season points in NFL history. And their run defense was a big issue and a big reason why Shai Tuttle just isn't that guy. Also, DJ Johnson is another guy on their defense that they could move on from, their outside linebacker. And a big one is Miles Sanders. Since joining the Panthers, I feel like this guy did absolutely nothing. He was a big free agent signing 2 years ago coming from the Eagles, and he had a pretty good year. He had a pretty good career with Philly, and he had a lot of hype going into Carolina. The dude has just absolutely done nothing with the Panthers, and they could definitely save a lot of money if they do cut him. Now, he has suffered a lot of injuries since joining them, and that's a big reason why he hasn't been very productive, but still, man, it's a business at the end of the day, and when you have to save money and when you want to be competitive, you got to spend money. Plus, they have Chuba Hubbard there. I feel like he's been pretty consistent the last couple of years. Sure, he's not an A-plus RB or anything like that, but he's very serviceable, and he gets the job done. And if they do cut him, that move would save them $5.2 million, and that's a lot of money. So just kind of like an obvious cut there in my opinion, so definitely expect that. And their kicker, Eddie Pinheiro, he held out a year ago wanting a new deal, and he didn't really have the best season this past year, so they could definitely save some money there as well. And just kickers in general, man, I feel like especially in the last 5-6 years, it's just a revolving door of kickers just trading teams every year. So that's definitely another cut candidate for the next few weeks, next month. We'll have to see, man. Let me know what you think about Shaq Thompson and the Panthers and everything else in between. If you made this far, please subscribe and like the vid. It'd help out your boy a ton. That's all I got for right now. Peace.
The Jets offense coming back onto the field here, desperately trying to avoid a repeat of their last drive when they had the quick 3 and out.
I'll tell you what, if they go 3 and out again, you know what's going to happen. Those defensive players are going to be looking at them as they come off the field. You put this back out there already, so it's important to get a drive, give your defense a little rest. That's what you want to do. Get a first down while you're on top and keep that clock moving and just controlling the football game. Good job by the offense managing things so far here today.
And Ivory's handed the football. It's now 2nd down and 7 after the 3-yard rush. Scrambling out of the pocket. Mitchell's there that time for the tackle.
He is a good runner with the football, not like most quarterbacks in the National Football League. They design runs for him just to do it as a running back.
It's caught by Devin Smith. Another 3rd down conversion. The offense continues to come through in the clutch.
The Jets really got it going now. They got confidence. They got momentum. They got a small lead here in the second half. And that first down, what does it do? It just gives the offensive coordinator confidence. And, of course, this quarterback, he is always ready to go.
Just had to avoid the sack. Incomplete.
That's what you expect in the NFL nowadays from the players, especially these receivers. They're so aggressive, so athletic. They go all out for every catch. That time, he just lets it all go. Not able to make the catch, but I'll give him an A for effort. Great situation to be in for the defense right here. It's 3rd long, and even though their team is losing the game, you can get after the quarterback and hope you can find a way to force a turnover.
Loss of a couple that time. Wants to go deep. Pulls it in. That's reception number 4 for him.
There's just so few quarterbacks who know how to throw it high and far anymore. Nice job that time by the quarterback. That throw was right on the money. The defense has got to be a little aggressive here. Your team is down. You've got to attack this offense. You don't want them to get in there and get another score. Good coaching on the defensive side. Everybody stays at home. They stay in their gap, and they hold that run to a short gain.
2nd and 9. To Cumberland. That's a gain of 6.
The Jets offensive coordinator does a good job that time calling the pass down here in the red zone. Caught the defense off guard. They got the completion for a good gain.
Catch made by Marshall. Marshall's brought down, but not until he gives his team a new set of downs.
First down